tell us what brought you to the independent schools. How did you get to the independent schools? Because Beverly and I have a list. What brought you, why independent schools and not publics?
I'll start. I agree with what both of you are saying, but as I was sitting here listening, I was thinking what really brought me was the philosophy of education. And, so when I came out of graduate school, you think a lot about what kind of educational philosophy do you believe in? Do you think, is really important? Sort of looking at that humanistic piece and the other part. So to me, I would say really finding a school that matched then that philosophy that I had. And I think that is what makes me come back, in the sense that any place you work is going to get frustrating. And there are going to be good days, there are going to be bad days. But if at the core level, the school and you have sort of the same philosophy of education, then at least sort of somehow you're headed in the same direction, no matter whether, depending on where you go. So philosophy, and I think freedom to teach in the way I want to teach and try out new things. In public schools there are a lot more stipulations, red tape, paperwork, and things like that. Whereas in independent schools, you do have some freedom. Like this year, we really want to explore bridges or something. You spend the whole year talking about bridges. And, you get math and reading and science, and everything can come into that. But in another school setting, it might be more, no, you didn't get to chapter 2, and you didn't get to chapter 3, and are they reading this book? Are they reading that book? So, as a professional, I think that's really something to think about.
When I was in graduate school, I taught in public schools, and like I said, teach high school math, and it was a public school in Boston that lost its accreditation the following year because of all of the issues. And so I actually went and taught physics at a small college in the countryside of Ethiopia, and those students were very motivated because that's the only way to get out of that situation. So working with those students for 2 years, teaching them physics, I needed a population that was interested in learning, and not that the students necessarily were uninterested in the Boston Public Schools, but the environment was not conducive for them learning, from some of their peers not being interested to some of my colleagues in the math department saying, oh, that kid's a statistics, why are you spending your time? You're not there, the kid won't even be here next year, as in won't be alive. So I decided to teach at a school called Sidwell Friends School in Washington when I came back. And when I was there, I wrestled with staying there, because the Washington, D.C. public schools are similar to Chicago. And I had one of my white colleagues actually say to me, the typical response is, the black students need to see you teaching mathematics, but also the white students need to see you, because particularly the white wealthy students may not see a person who looks like you, or if they do, that person, I don't know, might be cleaning their house. He was just trying to make it clear. And right before I came here this morning, I saw a black student from lab. I don't teach him, but I said, oh, hi, He's like, oh yeah, you're a math teacher. And I said, where is your mom here? He's like, yeah. And I said, I want to meet your mom. And then the mom said, I'm so happy to meet you. I'm really happy to see you. And I said, so maybe one day I'll, have an opportunity to teach your son. So, I think providing those touchstones for those students, being one of 2 in the high school at lab is what keeps me coming. And I like to teach challenging mathematics.